Alright, so now we've installed our Chrome and you can see the Chrome desktop icon here. It will go straight to installing our VS Code. So I might just launch the installer. I accept, next, install. And your VS Code installs. Okay, this is going to take a while, so I'm gonna just pause the video till it's done. Okay, now the setup is totally complete, finished, and we have our VS Code icon also appearing here, so we can launch it. I think there are 2 instances running. Well, basically, okay. Let me close one instance. So basically, this is how your VS Code will look when you have it installed. Now you can manage your files with VS Code. If you're going to be working on a project, for instance, let's say we're working on a bakery project, we can create a folder on the desktop, go to this Explorer, this is your file explorer on VS, and we can just drag and drop this folder here. And the cool thing about VS Code is that it will help us manage this folder. Now you can create new folders with this icon, or you can create new files with this icon. So let's say we're going to be working with HTML. You can create your first HTML file with this icon by typing index.html, and voila, you have your HTML text file you can use for your web development. Or you can create a new folder, you can create an image folder, you can create more folders here. You can run several projects on this file explorer. VS Code will help you manage the files in this explorer. So that's it for the installation. It's pretty neat and pretty straightforward, but just to cover everything, we are going to be working with some extensions. I already have some of them installed, but you're going to be working with some extensions in this project, and the first extension you're going to be working on is live server. You're going to be working with the live server extension, this particular live server extension. So you're going to click install, you get it installed. And what this live server does is that it helps you see, it creates a development server that helps you see what you are actually coding. Now, what is a server? A server is simply a computer that serves you information on the web. Let's say, for instance, you are you go to a site like facebook.com. What you do is you're actually requesting a page, maybe the home page. That home page you see on your website is actually stored on the computer. The pages you see on Facebook that are displayed when you are browsing Facebook, all of that is stored on the Facebook server, which is basically a computer that receives your request to view that page and serves you the pages you are requesting for. So when you click on profile on your Facebook, you request for the profile page, for your profile page from the Facebook server, then it serves you up that request. So that is just a very simple, the simplest definition I can give. So but this creates a local server on your system that manages your website, so that you can see how your website looks while you are coding. So that is what live server is about. For instance, let me just, since it's already installed, let me show you what I mean. Let's say we have a HTML project. I would explain everything I'm doing right now. I just want to illustrate. So once it's installed, you have this go live here. I don't know, let me zoom this properly so that you can see what I'm saying. You have your go live here. Okay, you have your go live here. So clicking this will run this server, or you can, you can left click here and you will see open with live server. So when you open this, it's going to serve it up on your computer, set up the server on your computer and serve up your page there. Okay, now is the server, you can see here, server is started at port 5500. Okay, now when you go to your local host, and this port number 5500 is called the port number. You don't need to know what it means. All you need to know is that that is where your server is set up. So this 127.0.0.0.1 is your local host. It is where your server is on your computer. Now I'm not teaching network administration, so I'm not going to be explaining all these terms. You can research them yourself, is up to you. But what you just need to understand from everything I'm saying is that your web page is going to be displayed here, and we're having a blank because why? We've not really put any content. All these things you're seeing, these lines of codes, are just information you're giving to your web page. There's no content here. If I should let me put this side by side. Let me try and put this side by side so that you can actually see what happens while it's happening. Okay, let me put this side by side. Alright, so now let me put something like, let me use the p tag. And this is the paragraph tag, and I put this is a web page, and I save it, Ctrl S. You see the text I put in here is already appearing on my web page. Now this is on my web page, this is on the local server, so you can actually see what you're doing when you have that extension installed. The live server is priceless for you as a developer, because it means that as you are coding, you'll be seeing the results of your code. Anytime you save, it gets updated. Anytime you save, it gets updated. For instance, this title tag, this title element you're seeing here controls this. You can see that the content of this title element is document. This is the content, document, and that is what is showing here. If I should change this to let's say the sorry, if I should change this to best bakery on the planet, and I save this, you see here is gonna change best bakery on the planet. So as you develop your website, as you input the lines of code here, with live server you'll be able to see everything happening in real time once you save it here. Another extension we're going to be working on or working with is bracket pair colorizer. Yeah, you're going to be working with this extension, bracket pair colorizer. So you'll go ahead and install this. Emmet is another extension we're going to be working with, but it comes by default with VS Code. So if you are using VS Code, you won't need to install Emmet. But I'm saying this for maybe for those that are not using VS Code. For those that are not using VS Code, maybe you are using Atom or Sublime or one other text editor, you need to install Emmet because it's basically gonna speed up our workflow. If you noticed at the beginning or towards the beginning of this video, I only typed an exclamation mark and pressed enter and all this appeared. That is because I am using Emmet. So what that means is that every time I start to develop a web page, I don't need to have to copy all this and paste it or type all this and paste it. All I just need to do is I just need to type that exclamation mark and all these blocks of code are ready for me. Now this is not cheating, this is just to speed up your workflow so that you don't do repetitive tasks. It's not cheating, it's just we're optimizing our workflow as programmers, because basically if you are going to be designing websites, if you are going to be developing websites, all these lines of code are usually going to be there. So rather than always repeating it and writing it, Emmet provides us that shortcut. And I'll still show more Emmet snippets and how to use it basically. So that will cover today's video on installation. If you love this video, like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so that I get notified anytime a video updates. Comment on the page, talk about what you've learned, or ask your questions or make your suggestions, and I will definitely attend to each and every one of them. Thank you for your time, and have a good time learning front end.